Welcome, everyone. My name is Laser Dave to another Third Thursday seminar. This seminar today is on uh, getting your how to get your business holiday ready. I have a special guest today, Josh Robertson from JDS Industries. He's the Market Development Manager that will join us at the end. Please feel free to answer any or ask any questions during this course. You can ask them on the right side of the screen. And at the end of the course, Josh and I will go through and answer any of your questions. Feel free to ask any questions regarding lasers as well as maybe new products. Josh is, of course, with JDS Industries, so he may have a lot of good insight on new products coming, new trends, and different stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get moving forward and cover today's seminar. So today's seminar is on how to get your business holiday ready. This is that time of season, especially in the laser industry. Most laser companies tend to start gearing up about this time of year to start building product materials, different things for the holiday season in order to get those products into stores, into boutiques, into online services. And so now is the time to really start thinking about that type of season. I know it feels a little bit early, but now is the best time to really start gearing up for this type of season so that that holiday rush doesn't hit you off guard. This course is, of course, as always, uses QR code links. If you're not familiar with QR code links, just point your camera app at the QR code, but don't take a photo, and a link will show on your screen. Select that link to get quick and easy access to web links, files, and videos that will be displayed throughout this course. Trotec has, of course, always been a USA or a social company. So go to Trotec USA social just by selecting one of these QR codes. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Twitter. Please point to your phone to the proper QR code to be directed to our link, and so that you can sign up to be kept up with current events, products, trainings, as well as applications and new products. So it's that time of year, time to gear up your laser for the holiday season. The pandemic and the difficulties of getting products from overseas has made owning and operating a laser system more profitable than ever, because laser systems have the ability to actually create, design, develop products from scratch. And so it puts you in the driver's seat when it comes to developing and producing these things at your local level. And so today's course is going to go through a little bit about all those different things. We're going to go through and make sure your system's up to running. I'll go through some basic equipment maintenance, make sure your machine is not going to fail you. Everything is up to snuff when it comes to operating that equipment for that big rush of the season. A lot of businesses see 60 to 80% of their overall revenue in the next 3 months, starting in October. And because of that, you want to make sure that everything is ready to go. I mean, this is the final event for the year, and we want to make sure it's going to go. So we're going to go through some equipment maintenance. And then we're going to go up some different tips and trips on how to keep up with production, different techniques, apps, laser tacks, and things like that. I'm going to go through some different details on how to set yourself apart. You know, there's a lot of people out there producing similar products, same products, how to set yourself apart maybe from the competition, maybe your competition, maybe some good tips and tricks for that, as well as some resources on how to get products, materials, applications, files, things like that. And then how to maybe even expand into an additional laser system to compensate for that, because now is the time to really push into an additional system so that it's in place before the rush hits. And then finally, Josh and I will cover a Q&A. And again, Josh is the market development manager from JDS Industries, so he's going to have a lot of insight in what kind of products. JDS says, if you don't know JDS, they sell just about everything there is laser. And they're going to have a real good insight on understanding what kind of products are popular and going to be popular for this holiday season. So let's start with some equipment maintenance. This is a very popular topic because if your equipment is not operating properly or kept up properly or maintained properly, well, you don't want that risk of a lens burning up because you don't clean that lens, or the debris and the residue in the machine. And so I'm going to go through some basic equipment maintenance. I'm going to give you some resources for maintenance just to keep your machine at top notch for processing with the laser, or for processing the holiday season rush. So proper maintenance and routine services servicing of your laser systems are essential for achieving and maintaining high engraving results, and an extra long lifespan of that laser. By implementing just a few simple steps, you can assure your laser system is well maintained. Little bit, just the basics. If you don't know, just check your workspace cleanly every day, at least once per day. Inspect your mirrors and your lenses every day, especially when you're running your machines constantly, which should be done. They should be free from dust, debris to avoid system damage. There's a QR code on the right side here if you want to scan to watch the exact procedure on exactly how to clean those optics. Make sure all your ventilation slots are free from contamination and allow for continuous flow of extracted air. And also check all your optical and mechanical components for debris. The biggest product down cycle, or the biggest problem when it comes to lasers, is typically because someone doesn't pay attention to their optics. Those optics become dirty, they become clouded, they become inoperable. And so eventually, if a lens, a mirror is dirty, and the laser beam, one, is going to produce much less laser power, and two, eventually that laser could eventually burn that optic out. And so paying a close attention to those optics is crucial in order to keep that machine operational. Secondly, if you feel like you're running low power, it could just be as simple as a dirty lens or a dirty mirror. This is the single biggest cause of laser systems down. It's because of a burned up optic. And so a pro tip is to keep a few spare parts, especially maybe an extra mirror, maybe an extra lens, or at least the most common lens, in stock, especially through the holiday season. Because as I've worked in laser shops in my past, and as you know, if the laser is going to burn up or you're going to accidentally burn up a lens, it's going to happen at 2 p.m. on a Sunday. And of course, no way of getting any support typically on those days. So it's always a good idea to keep a few of these in stock. Keep your machine clean, keep it maintained. Another one that I like to mention is to keep your exhaust cleaned out. So many people ignore the exhaust once it's set up, whether you're ventilating into a filter unit or if you are ventilating outside. Those exhausts build up debris. And that debris inside will slowly make the pipes and hoses and stuff become smaller and smaller. And they need to be cleaned out about once a year, or at least check. So open up the pipes, pull things apart, blow things out, make sure they're completely free of debris. Because a low-end exhaust will cause more debris in your field, which is going to make your optics dirty and can make you go down in that way. So keep a few parts in stock. Check your exhaust system, make sure your optics and stuff are clean. If you don't want to do any of this, of course, we offer a Trotec Care maintenance. You're welcome to, of course, contact Trotec to have a certified Trotec service technician, maybe do an annual maintenance, maybe come out right before the holidays to keep your system in optimal working condition, as well as prevent any unscheduled downtime. We offer customized service plans at a fixed rate, and it can be tailored to your needs. Just contact us if you want to receive a quote for that. But whether you do it yourself or whether you have somebody come out and do a PM on your machines, now is a good time to really do it before this rush hits. So beyond maintenance of your machine, there is also, of course, keeping up with production. There's a lot of tips and tricks, laser hacks, and how-tos that I can walk you through to give you kind of that leg up and really kind of get the most efficiency out of your laser machine. The first thing is, of course, using fixtures in order to get the most efficiency out of the machine. To give you an idea, to engrave one tag, something like you see in this fixture here below, would be about the same amount of time as it takes to run 3 to 4 in a row. So if you're running rows of tags or rows of products in a production standpoint, in a fixture, the laser machine is far more efficient. And the reason is that laser head goes back and forth. And it has to go back and forth the same amount of time on one tag as it does an entire row. And the stops and starts and that acceleration and deceleration is where a lot of your time is wasted. So for running smaller batches, medium batches, there are a lot of different laser hacks on how to utilize that. Even if I'm going to run 6, 8 tags, I'm not going to do them one at a time. I'm going to make a simple fixture, maybe out of just simple tape on the table, laser cut the tape out, and then place the tags onto that tape to make a very inexpensive fixture, and then run 6, 8, 10 of them at a time, and then you're good to go. QR code here. if you want to watch the video on how to create these types of fixtures and jigs. They don't need to be fancy like this one with all the fancy acrylic. They can be out of plywood. They could be out of cardboard. You could make it just, put a piece of tape down on the table and cut it out to make a simple template. We have lots of different laser hacks on how to do this to make your machine far more efficient for processing a high volume of parts and products, if that's possible. So always keep an eye on that. And especially for that, it's going to keep your costs down. It's going to allow you to give lower quotes and also stay competitive in your marketplace. Another method, a lot of award shops, a lot of gift item shops and stuff are switching to a Galvo-based laser system. The Trotec Galvo technology is 10 times faster than a flatbed machine because of the way the motion system works. They come in both CO2 and fiber lasers, and field sizes up to 51, over 51 by 17 inches. These systems work differently, but for super high volume production, they are the ultimate when it comes to this. Lasers are typically built into the machine. They have a fixed head. Galvo systems are ideal for that. We have a new style of 3D Galvo system that has just come out that also compensates for angles, so that you can do an angled cut. You can do, a perfect engraving down inside of a bowl shape or a sphere, or in a cylinders and bowls and tilted planes automatically without the need of a rotary. So that is, these are the different technologies that are out there. If you're doing something like the bottles or the tumblers, these type of products typically need to be put in a rotary and rotated. But if you're engraving high volume and you really want to step up with it, the new 3D Galvo systems will work without a rotary. You can put 10, 20, 30 of them, depending on the size of the product, into the machine, and it will run it without a rotary, and allow you to batch process, kind of like I just showed you with the fixturing on a product like this. So something to keep in mind, if you have that high volume, products like this are now coming out to eliminate the need of an individual rotary and being able to run 1, 2, maybe 3 at a time for that high volume production. Here's some, if you want to really increase your productivity on a lot of them, I produce a whole series of laser hack videos. So you can scan this QR code. It's going to take you to all my laser hacks. I think I've exceeded 30 plus videos, and then I'm continuously adding new ones. So scan this QR code, subscribe to our YouTube channel to be kept up to date with all these new videos. These are extremely helpful. They're tips, tricks, and techniques, what I call laser hacks, to help you improve your productivity, to help you improve your quality, and then also maybe just give you tips and tricks that you didn't know about to work in the pre-processing or the post-processing of materials and products. Another thing is you need to distinguish yourself from the competition. It may be good, the holiday season's coming, but you may be busy, but you may not be busy enough. You may want some more business. So there are a lot of things you can do, especially in this world of online environments, to make yourself stand out. And it can be very simple and things that you didn't even think about doing. The first one is your product photography. So many people will just take a quick photo of their finished product and they'll post it on Instagram. They'll post it on Facebook, all the social media platforms, or maybe on their Etsy site. But so many I see don't go and invest in a simple between $35 up to $300 a light box. They're inexpensive. You only need to buy one once, and they can make your products go from just basic looking to really standing out. And here's what I mean. Just a simple light box like this. I use one that's about $150. It's got the lights built into it. It makes it very, very easy to take that perfect photograph. You can take it from your phone, post it onto your social media or your Etsy site very, very quickly. And here's the difference. I took this same product out in my lab, just outside the machine on my standard table, next to the same photo, unedited, no editing on this photo, in a light box. You can see the dramatic difference. It really stands out, makes yourself look more professional. A simple light box will give you that ability to do that. And that professionalism is going to transcribe into all your products. It's going to make you stand out. It's really going to give you that look of professionalism and hopefully give you more business because of that. Another thing you can do is, of course, presentation for your product. Even if you're just presenting that on your Etsy shop or your Instagram or stuff like that, use laser cut foam packaging. Or if you're selling a higher end product, consider adding something as simple as a little case. Use the laser to cut out, engrave all your different outlines of your product. I'll typically just stick my product on a scanner bed, scan it, and then run a little outline around it, and then cut some foam out, and then place that product in the foam. It's immediately going to add higher perceived value just by adding, that packaging. People see it, it's presented, it's held into place. It just adds that higher perceived value. Another one is marketing. There's quite a few different techniques, of course, in marketing, and I've consulted some of our marketing experts to really kind of help you in this area. The first is to know your customer base or your key demographics. See what products are trending and put a unique spin on it. It's one thing to do a product, but another that is maybe it's not popular anymore. If you understand what's trending, you can stay on those curves. They constantly change. You also want to price your product appropriately. I find that pricing is not fixed. It can be different based on if you're in a rural environment and you're selling locally, or if you're selling online. It needs to be consistent with, say, competitive scenarios. Factor to consider: staying competitive, covering material and labor cost while earning a profit, pricing for quality, and you get what you pay for. So make sure that you produce good quality. You work with products and materials that are high grade. Try to stay away from some of those materials that just don't have that high perceived value and don't give you that return on investment, because you need to cover all these things: the labor cost, your buildings, your housing, or anything like that, your employees. Another one is customer service, creating a memorable customer experience. So many people require that a response virtually instantly or very, very quickly. So when you get a question online, always stay up on it. Make sure you're quick and easy access to answer those questions, so that you don't see those negative reviews. You don't see those issues coming from the customer base that could potentially negatively it could negatively hurt you for your business. Use social media to your advantage. It's free. Everybody uses it these days. It's far more advantageous than, say, even just a standard website. So more people use social media than they go to direct websites. Now, the website also needs to be there in order for somebody to go from the social media platform to maybe learn more. So you kind of need both, all the above these days. Offer special offers, discounts, or freebies, things, promotional discounts. If you're doing volume discounts, you do a sliding scale. So many people will sell for one product, but they don't have a scale on there. So if they order 10, they can get a price break. Maybe if they order 100 or 1,000, there are price breaks so that you can get those orders. The most profitable orders are the ones from stores or product companies that are going to sell that product. So they're not going to buy one or two. They're going to buy 10, 20, or 1,000 of them, or hundreds of them. This is what you want to do. You don't onesie twosie stuff is good. It'll keep you afloat, but it's the production orders that are going to give you the revenue required in order to maintain a business. Now, the next is to really kind of understand the trending and profitable seasonal gift ideas. Some of them have been around for a while and are still there, maintaining profitability. Others are new and exciting, something you may not know about. And so I'm going to go through some of the ones that I have seen. And then Josh is another great person at the end of this course to maybe ask a few questions, maybe what he's seeing. I'm only going by my perception of what I've seen. I talk to a lot of customers. I go to trade shows. And so we see a lot of different seasonal and gift ideas. And the most popular now for probably 10 years has been the tumblers. Tumbler products are extremely popular, and they don't seem to be going away anytime soon. They are one of those products that everybody wants, and the other benefit is the products wear out over time, or the product or graphic that they have on it fades off and they need another one, or they want another one. Maybe their favorite sports team, or their school, or just a personal saying they want. And so this has maintained a consistent, profitable application. It's probably one of the most popular item sold at JDS, but it's just one of those products that come in all shapes, colors, sizes, and so it's just becoming it maintained a consistent high trend profit margin and for that product. And there's a QR code on how to do multiple cups here in the corner. Actually, I can show it to you right now. This is a laser hack I'm going to walk you through for doing more than one at a time. So many out there will do one cup at a time. And so in the case of doing a vacuum insulated tumblers, doesn't matter what the brand, it can get off the store shelf, you can get it from JDS, but here is a simple little gasket coaster that I suggest you get from Amazon. You only need to get 1 or 2 sets. This is not for the end customer. This is for you as an operational production. So what you want to do with these coasters is you want to place them onto the product before you stick them in the laser. And by adding these little gasket type systems, you can stack the products together. And by stacking it together, we're going to be able to increase our productivity on our rotary system 3 times. Because as I said earlier, when you're running one at a time, that laser head moves back and forth the same amount of times as it does in this case on 3 times. I'm going to pick my graphic. In this case, I'm going to do a different graphic on each one of the systems. And then I'm going to place it in my design software. And then we're going to send it to the laser to run. The benefit of doing this, whether it's the same graphic on one, whether it's a different one on each one of them, is that head is now making 3 times the productivity, almost 3 times the productivity, because again, that acceleration and deacceleration to do one glass, or one cup in this case, is greatly increased. And then if you have another set of these gaskets, you can have another set ready to go. As you can see, they literally stack together, and you can place another 3 in there, push start, and produce high production type environment. This allows for you to almost triple your productivity, therefore tripling your profit margin on the products. To give you an idea, this product on a Speedy 360 80 watt took about 4 minutes to run 3 of them. And it's just over, for the larger file here, it's just over 3 minutes if I were to run 1. So you can see the improvement of efficiency on something like this. And so I have lots of other laser hacks like this in order to do that. So take a look at that laser hacks link that I showed you earlier. Another very popular one has been for the last few years has been laser cut jewelry. All different styles, shapes, sizes. The one place I suggest you buy the files in this case, I mean, you can create them, you can design them if you're good, but Etsy is a great place for this because you spend $1 or $2 for the file, and then of course, that $1 or $2 can produce high volume production. You can make as many as if you want on the laser. You can't resell the file or donate or give the file away, but you can use that file to produce products very, very quickly. And these are awesome because you're using almost no material. The time to laser process them is very, very low because they're so small. And then the return on investment is extremely high. Typical set of laser cut and engraved earrings go for, between $8 and $12 per set. Yeah, you have to add some little bit of hardware into it, but you're using almost no material and no laser time. So the margins on these things are outstanding. And also it adds that flair that a lot of people like these days because it allows them to stand out. It's not the off-the-shelf, store-bought jewelry. So many, and especially the younger generations really seem to like this, and I think that's why it's so popular. Epoxy is another one that's been really popular in the last few years. It's gotten more and more popular. It's always required multi-mixing and a lot more complexity. Now there are the ones that I have found, I've done some testing here, just use one material. You don't have to mix it. You don't have to do anything difficult. You can buy this little kit here I bought for $39. It includes everything, and it's a UV single core material. So you pour it into your laser cut. You can add color if you want, and then you hit it under a UV light, and it's done. It's a great material to work with. I got a little video here. It'll show you how it works. And so what I've done is I've taken this very, very simple piece of this very simple jewelry file, and then I'm going to convert it to an outline. And then we're going to go ahead and cut that out on the laser. Here it is at a little piece of bamboo, a sustainable piece of bamboo. We're going to cut that out. And then we're going to use this one. We're going to clean up any of the residue that's off the surface. And once that's finished, we're ready to go. Could be a finished product by itself, but to really make it stand out, the UV resin has made this very easy. And of course, you would make this. I'm going to show you in one case, but I would suggest, of course, doing this in batch processing. So in this case, I'm going to add just a little bit of the ultraviolet or the UV resin. The UV stuff doesn't mean you have to mix anything unless you're, of course, mixing color in. So I'm mixing it into the color, and then I'm going to just pour that resin into the engraving, or the cut in this case. The other nice thing about this stuff is it domes really nice. What I mean by doming is the ability to actually make it go a little bit higher than the product itself. As you can see here, it kind of goes right up to that edge and gives you that almost half sphere type effect within seconds. And so you can take and pour the resin over the top of the object, and then once it's set up like this, we'll let it sit for a second, and I'm going to take it just a simple little flame torch or a lighter and go over the top. It'll pop all the bubbles, giving you that perfectly smooth finish. And then we're going to, of course, take a simple ultraviolet light, place it over it. It only takes about 45 seconds, and then this is cured enough to where you will be able to pick it up. It does take overnight to completely cure, but the outside will be cured under the light. And then you have your finished product. So as you can see, a little bit labor intensive, but by adding the UV resin into the material, we're able to take a simple product or a simple laser cut and really add it to that next level. Here's one where I poured blue down inside, cured it, and then I domed it with the clear after it was cured. So it kind of gives you that two-toned effect. So outstanding application, extremely high trending, and it's a great one for doing to produce a high profit margin should you like. 3D checker patterns is another popular one, especially for the outdoorsy type, for the hunting, for the camping type people. It is really, really neat type application. This has always been popular because you can take an existing product, you can add a grip pattern or a checker pattern to it very, very quickly. Onto sword handles, duck calls, baseball bats, axe handles, gun handles, fishing rods, anything like that. Preferably materials that produce depth. Some plastics, acrylics, materials like woods, of course, are going to work the best. Tight grain woods I like the best. Stay away from your soft woods like pines and oaks. I stick with more of the walnuts and the cherries and the maples. They produce a much nicer effect. And it works very, very simple. I'm going to go through and kind of show you the process here from design to finished result. So here in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to design a simple diamond. This is right out of CorelDRAW 2020, which is one of the later versions of CorelDRAW. I'm going to design just a simple diamond. Then I'm going to go to Effects, Contour, and I'm going to add a contour to the center at 0.001, and I'm going to fill it white. We'll hit Apply, and we've now made a gradient contour. Now all I need to do is duplicate this one little diamond and snap it to the edge. Hit Control-D to duplicate it again, and then group that together, and then duplicate into a row. So in essence, what I'm doing is now selecting this single item and then duplicating it, snapping it together to create an array or a pattern. Once that's done, once you get the pattern size, because it becomes a very difficult file, I will then convert that to a 600 dpi bitmap. And then I'm going to take the shape and I'm going to contour it into it. So I'm going to take that shape that I just created as a bitmap, and I'm going to snap it into my outline, and then we'll laser engrave it into the piece of wood. I can then take that shape out, move it to a different one, and then engrave that into a different piece of wood. So once you've got the pattern created, here's one where it's contoured into a more complex shape. Snap it in there using the power clip commands from CorelDRAW, and then send that to the laser for a finished product. So in this case, you're going to actually see the finished product engraved, so I'll print it to the laser. Go into the software, click on the material, and then I want to turn on relief mode. Relief mode is the product or the process in order to produce that three-dimensional checkering pattern. We'll bring it out to the laser, set the product into the machine, and then we'll start engraving it. So when relief mode is turned on, I do want to focus about average in this case, but wood is very forgiving. And then I will start engraving that product, and it's going to actually give me that three-dimensional effect across the product. This is extremely popular. The return on investment is outstanding for something like this. And then once you have the files designed, you can very quickly reproduce them just by dropping them into an outline. So that is 3D checkering. That is in order to kind of add that extra flair to the different products. The next is, of course, electronics. Mobile electronics and electronics have been, a never-ending stream of popularity. The products may change, but of course, the market does not. Electronics and mobile accessories are always out there. People love their phone backs, their Apple iPods, their aluminum power banks, the docking. They want to create docking stations. They want to engrave wooden flash drives, resin-filled phone cases. JDS makes a whole line of like leatherette mouse pads and coasters and things like that. So we're going to go through and kind of show you some of these different applications and how they're running. So the leatherette is awesome material. I really like this material. Leatherette is it's a two-tone material. It has that look and feel, that high perceived value. It also, when people get it, when they feel it, it just has that richness, that feel. And so in this case, I've taken a small little chicken and engraved it onto it to make a personalized mouse pad. And then you wipe it off and you get that real beautiful high contrast mark, depending on what combination of colors you get. Here's a power bank, anodized aluminum power bank. These are great gifts. They've always been popular. And this way, these are also great for personalizing or, of course, selling from like schools or fundraising and stuff like that. Very popular in that case. Another one that I find that's very popular is, of course, the power or the flash drives. Here's a flash drive that I pick up on Amazon that has a wooden case as well as a wooden cover around it to give you that best of both worlds. So it's got a case with the actual flash drive in it, personalized, and there you go. So again, you're taking an existing product. If this was to be given away by a company, that company would give those away. It's going to be put on desk, and people are just going to keep it on their desk because they use flash drives every day. And therefore, this works great for giveaways, for swag, as well as for actual products or videos or something like that given away by a company. Light up items have always been popular. Anything that glows and glitzes, is popular on that. And there's more and more products out there, from wristbands to acrylic or light bases. One that I really like is placing, a light behind the resin. So the resin that I showed you earlier on jewelry can, of course, be put into a sign base, or it could be put into a product decor or a home decor type item. LED technology, battery technology has continuously improved, and so that cost has come down. So you can have a simple lithium battery or a simple USB plug into the back of the LEDs, and your product lights up. So that's why this is so popular. Now, the products are inexpensive and they're usually easy to make, but the personalization is still the part that people are going to pay the most for. So if it's as simple as a wristband or a decor, that personalization of cutting the turtle out, or a personal name or a personal sign, is the part where the most revenue can be generated. And those of you with a laser have the benefit of doing any of this. Another one is, of course, doing custom gift sets. This is extremely popular. Yes, you can engrave a glass, but if you engrave an entire kit, a box, or the whole product with it, the more products that you can bundle together, and maybe you take that and you bundle it in a basket. Another one that I was informed by one of our customers is combining it with other products. Maybe you do embroidery, maybe you do printing. Maybe do sublimation or any of these other kind of offshoots or products. And so if you do t-shirt printing, put a shirt in with a product and an engraved glass and a engraved box, and put it all into a basket and sell. You'll find the return on investment for doing that, when everything is personalized, is considerably higher than selling individual items. It's also easier when people get that bundled deal. So it's a great way to really increase that perception of quality and added value by bundling products together. As I was mentioning, the JDS industry sells the leatherette material. It is a high perceived value, a very luxurious look and feel. Comes in all different colors, shapes, sizes. They've got it in pattern sheets. You can buy it in actual sheet stock now, which is nice. So if you want to incorporate it into a patch or a product or something like that on your existing product, you can cut it out. You can laser engrave it. You can see the different combinations of color that you can get from this stuff. So you may want that wine color look to engrave black, or the blue to go on silver. I believe they make a blue on black too. So there's lots of different combinations of color. It looks and feels like leather. It's got a very luxurious look and feel. That's what I like about it. Mouse pads and stuff like that, even after a year, that still feel very expensive. And that's what I like about this stuff, even though the individual product is not that expensive. But once you personalize it, it's got the impression of that luxurious look and feel, and it lasts. So this is a great material. You can select this QR code from JDS Industries if you want to know more about this material, but it is always been popular, and I suspect this year for the holiday season, it will continue to be popular. Print and cut products have always been continuously popular, whether you do sublimation, whether you do direct to material printing, whether you print it and then adhere it to another product. Print and cut options really are something to stand out, great application, and are easy to do. If you want to learn a little bit on exactly how to do this, you can scan this QR code. It'll walk you through a video on exactly how to set up your file, to print your file, to go ahead and stick it in your laser. In order to do like edgeless cut, like this little guitar or this little like gun you see here, this little ray gun, it does require a camera to be included with your laser system. However, if you're doing things like just cutouts of like puzzles like you see here, that don't necessarily require a camera system. You still need to have the product printed, but if you are cutting out something like a puzzle or a simple shape, or cutting out like a photograph where you can bring the cut line just slightly smaller than the cut to get that edgeless cut, you don't need a camera system for that. So print and cut can be done with and without the camera system, depending on, of course, what the finished product will need to be. Here's a good resource for you: low-cost files proven to produce quick returns. So many people don't, they'll spend hours and hours and hours designing a file that may or may not produce a good finished product, and that finished product may not sell. So you've wasted a lot of time. My suggestion is, don't waste your time. How much is your time worth? Go out to these sites that they sell files. Yes, it's a few dollars. Most files on, say, Etsy, which has by far the most of them, range from $3, to $6 or $7. And but if you think about it, how much is if you're going to spend hours in development and material costs to try to design and develop a file, why do that? If you can spend a few dollars, have that file, know it's an extremely popular file by going out and looking at it. You can always tell because Etsy's going to put the more popular ones up front, and it's going to give you those laser ready example files. Here's some example. They're laser ready. They are already known to be popular. You can download the file, spend the $2, spend the $3, $5, whatever it is, and you're in production immediately. One, the product or the file is popular, so it's going to be popular most likely for your customer. Two, your design process, you've now springboarded into production. You pay nothing more to continue building that product, and then of course selling that product on your Etsy shop or your Instagram or your storefront. So these are great methods to use these different companies to buy the files. It's great to be able to design your own stuff, of course. And if you do design your own, you do have the no risk that nobody else is doing it. But there are so many files, as you can see, hundreds of thousands of files out there for sale. But it is a real quick return for little cost. The other benefit is I've downloaded a few just to see what they were like. They're offered in multiple formats. And so most of them will come in a AI, an EPS, a Corel Draw, a PDF format, or an SVG format, sometimes all of the above. And so no matter what design software you're comfortable with using, you can bring that safely into that design software, maybe add some personalization, customization to that file, or modify it to your liking. So as I was mentioning earlier, adding value, and so when you're adding value, you really you can increase the profit up to 3 times that of just selling the individual pieces. People tend to be driven to that full package deal. So here's an example of a wine box. And so in this case, I have a full bottle of wine. I have here a glass. And of course, I've got a nice titanium crystal. I've got a couple of Leatherette coasters, and I'm going to put the same graphic on. So we're going to take and grab all the different graphics on this. And then I'm going to take it and put it in a great big fancy box that holds the glasses and the wine. And I'm going to engrave all the products. Now they're all tied together. They have the same graphic, logo, and are ready to go. And then when you put them in the box, you can now sell this entire package for, you know, a couple $100, versus if you were to sell individual items, you'd probably make half that. And so that's the difference, really bundling that package together, making that high perceived value. And they're only buying a box, 2 glasses, a couple coasters, and a bottle of wine. But the return on investment is much higher because the perceived value of the entire package, especially personalized, are something that you can't really get anywhere else. And so they're paying for that bundled package. And it's a great resource for you to, or a great method to really increase that return on investment. Couple resources for recommended gifts and personalization resources. Colorado Heirloom, they're great for making all those types of boxes and really high-end wood products. Mainly wood is their game. They are a local company out of Colorado. I highly recommend them. They've been in the laser industry since 1986. They make a lot of really, really good wood products, and this specifically for lasers. JDS, of course, is the kingpin, in my opinion. They sell everything laser under the moon, from, you know, the Leatherette products to the tumblers to who knows. And we're going to tap Josh for maybe other products that are popular coming up here. Another one is Laser Sketch, and this is kind of the trifecta. You know, if you Laser Sketch is more known for your stone and brick materials that are kind of that heavy, that laser grade stone, granite, marble. They sell the onyx materials and stuff like that. So between these 3 companies, you can really get pretty much all there is out there in the laser industry. Take a look and scan these QR codes if you want to go to them and maybe take a look, maybe expand your existing product line. Maybe you didn't know about one or the other. So these are 3 that I would highly recommend. September deal of the month. Trotec, of course, also sells materials. You're also welcome to take a look at our materials. We have lots of different Troglass material, Troglass glitter and acrylics and laser. Troglass glitter acrylics and laser paper are on sale this month. The glitter acrylic is outstanding. It's got a very, very glittery. It's great for the holiday season because it gives you that glittery finish, and you can get it in silvers and golds and reds and greens and blues and blacks. It's really, really neat material. So if you engrave, or if you scan this QR code, you can be taken to our material site. And if you use voucher code September or SEPT-promo-2021, it'll give you the 30% off of these materials if you're interested in them. Now, of course, right now is the best time. Inventory is dwindling. You know, usually as you push towards the end of the year, trying to get new products, everyone wants to get it for the holiday rush. They want to get it for tax reasons. And if you wait too long, you may lose out because there's only a certain amount that it can be fabricated, can be produced in a year. We're only as good. And our biggest issue lately has been keeping up. So the demand has been exceptionally high this year. So now is the time. If you want to add an additional system, get it ordered now. The sooner the better, so that you can have it in your facility and ready for that rush. You could also make sure that it's in this calendar year for tax reasons. If you want to contact us, here's our contact number, 734-720-9997, or you can go, of course, go to troteclaser.com and then look up one of our local office locations. We have office locations all over the country. Take a look at them, and then maybe look into adding a system to your product line. If you are interested in this Third Thursday and you want to know more, we have the pandemic has been outstanding for content because we've spent a lot more time and effort putting content online. So we have now added once a month, we've added a different Third Thursday workshop. All of them have been pre-recorded and, of course, placed on our website. So you can scan this QR code and go to all the different ones. And there are all different types of categories we've covered, such as glass, textile, marking methods, signages, wood, Corel Draw Basic and Advanced. I've got all my laser hacks on there, plus a new laser hacks that's in development, engineering material, acrylic process, education, and many more. So take a look at this QR code. If you are highly interested and want to learn more, maybe a market that you're interested in getting into, these are great courses. They're not trying to sell you. It's purely education to make you more profitable on your laser machine and make you more efficient on that laser machine, whether it's learning Corel Draw or if it's learning, wood processing and relief engraving. So these are different things. Take a look at them, scan it. We also, of course, have my laser hack series. Again, individual tips and tricks. There's all different types of tips and tricks on our YouTube channel. It's on our Instagram. It's on our Pinterest. All of our different social media platforms. And that's it for today's seminar. We're going to go ahead and now go to Josh Robertson and JDS Industries, and we're going to answer any of your questions. Hello, Josh. Welcome.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me, Dave.
Thank you for joining me today. I definitely need your valuable knowledge when it comes to this marketplace. We get a ton of questions when it comes to, what's hot? What should I buy this year? What should I post in my Etsy shop? And I'm happy to have you here today and to go through our different questions and see what we can get to maybe help these customers out.
Sure.
All right, let's go ahead and see the first question. Any recommendations for promotional products to be sent to possible customers that will stand out? This is a great one for you, Josh.
Yeah. Thanks so much for the question, Adele. Really, depending on your budget, I'm looking at a few different things that you could do. Luggage tags that are wrapped in the laserable leatherette. There's keychains. There's the phone wallets that adhere to the back of your phone cases, power banks, pens, coasters, flash drives, as you already mentioned, Dave. And then we also have silicone bracelets that laser really well, that you can put a different saying, or you can promote a cause, or there's different things that you can do, different brands you can put on that. And they laser really well and pretty inexpensive.
Silicone bracelets have been becoming popular again. I know they've kind of been up and down lately.
Yeah, I think it really just depends on how you're going to send that product to your customer. You're right, they fluctuate, not quite as popular as they used to be, but again, budget friendly product. You can use your laser for.
Got it. Great. Thank you. Okay, next question. Any new JDS products to keep an eye out for the holiday season approaches? Another one great for you, Josh.
Absolutely. Drinkware continues to be very popular. Do not discount that. There's a few things with our existing line of products that you should be aware of. We have different lids. We have carabiners that attach to like our water bottles, which leads me to the next big thing that if you haven't tried the water bottle line from Polar Camel, you absolutely have to do that. It's very popular. We have 3 different sizes, and they're really well built. There's a high perceived value of that. Anything wrapped in leatherette. We have a couple of different new finishes. We have kind of a white marble one. We have a cork that lasers really, really well. Looks gorgeous. And there's a few different products that come with that. So that's super important to take a look at. And then our slate. We have a slate line that is kind of embedded into different wood products. You have like a flight board, like for craft beers. We have different trivets and things like that come with the slate. So you can laser on both of those products, both the slate and the wood. So a few neat things that I think are really cool. And then the cake pans. As we're getting into that holiday season, everybody's bringing desserts or hot dishes and things like that. So cake pans are really popular. They come in multiple different colors. And what you're doing is lasering the lid. That comes on the cake pan. And
I actually did a video on your cake pan, and we posted on our YouTube channel. It worked really well.
Yeah, a lot of people have been latching onto those, and they're selling very well right now.
I would have never thought that something like a cake pan would be popular, but you're right. I get a lot of inquiries about it. That's why they wanted me to make a video on it. And I'm very interested in the slate. Slate engraves beautifully. You get a nice contrast from it. Of course, it's usually a dark stone, which is embedded into wood, which has that high perceived value. I'm going to have to get some into my lab here and give it a try.
Yeah, and Dave, I do want to mention too, if there's a line of products or a color or something like that, you're just not quite sure what is selling the best. Our website actually allows customers to sort by most popular. So if you find something that you're like, wow, that looks like that might be really interesting, we share that information with our customers. And once you've logged into the website, you can sort by popularity.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to buy a lot of an individual color, not knowing if your customers are going to like it, maybe because you like it. So it's not about you. It's going to be what's the most popular and what's going to give you the most return. So that's a great tip. Thank you. Okay, next question. What products from JDS will give me the best profit margin? You're a popular one here today, Josh.
Uh, Really, anything with the leatherette. You hit it several times. It has a very high perceived value, a real rich look. It wears very well, so you can really be confident in your customer's experience with any of those products. The Polar Camel line, again, another very robust, high endurance product. I'd put it up against anything else in the market that is similar to it. And again, we continue to expand different accessories, different legs. We have magnetic lids, slide lids. There's straws. There's all sorts of different things for that line. And so those continue to be very profitable. And then in any bamboo or wood products, cutting boards, again, they tend to be somewhat novelty, but also functional.
Yeah, I know bamboo cutting boards are extremely popular in the holidays. I mean, to the point where I got one as a gift engraved last year. My wife did, which was crazy because, you know, I have lasers in my lab and I'm like, who's sending me engraved gifts? So, and it's funny is it was from JDS too, completely unprompted from somebody. So yeah, very, very popular. So awesome. Yeah. And it's funny how, I mean, you and I have not even really talked on what's popular, but most of what I kind of went through in the seminar today from my own experience is tying into what you're seeing as well, which is good that that perception of the right products of what's popular is consistent between the two of us, even though we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, and I loved how you incorporated the different processes and putting packages together, because there's other sublimatable sheets that cut out on the laser, and so you really are back to making your custom pieces that nobody else can produce. And so it was a really good talking point and something I think really deserves just revisiting briefly, and just making sure that everybody knows we sell gift sets, but you can add 2 gift sets. One thing that tends to be take a product up a notch would be our gift boxes. Some of them are laserable. You talked about the foam inserts that you can cut out. Really increases the again perceived value or the impression of the product. And we have leatherette wrapped gift boxes, so you can use that same great product and leather something on, or laser something on top of the box too. So,
well, yeah, take a leatherette gift box and then put a foam inside in it with your product that's personalized. You've tripled your value just by doing that, I can imagine.
Absolutely.
All right, excellent. Any new products we can expect to see from JDS or Trotec in 2022? Well, that's a good question. From the Trotec side, our new Ruby software is the thing that's really been pushed lately. I'm going to be doing more and more seminars on that. And Ruby software dramatically improves your productivity. It doubles the amount or triples the amount of, or I would say drops the time by 1/3 that it takes to send a file to the laser. So yes, we make the fastest lasers in the world. However, also now our software that allows you to set up, design, develop, that is really taking off. I do suggest you to download it. If you have an existing laser, download our Ruby software. It is new and it is continuously getting better. New major updates coming out in December, which will even make it more powerful. As for potential products in 2022, I don't know if Josh can tell us any sneak peeks, but we'll find out from him. What do you got, Josh?
I don't know how much I can reveal about the new products, but I will say if it's been a while since you visited the Polar Camel line, we do have, we've had them leatherette wrapped, and then we also have the silicone, which wraps really nice as well. There are a few things that are coming out that I think you're really going to like, but I haven't been given permission to share that yet. So
super secret, coming soon. Stay tuned.
That's right. Stay tuned.
All right, outstanding. So it sounds like you need to keep an eye on the JDS website and keep up with possible, or I would suggest probably joining your social media platform. You guys probably post your new products there first, right?
Yeah, and on our website, we also have a Marketing Made Easy tab, which has downloadable flyers, images, things like that, just to help make this holiday season go a little smoother for our customers. So be sure to visit that and see what kind of tools are already there available for you as you're looking at different products. And production becomes just a totally different animal this time of year. And we have a lot of tools out there that just make it easier to keep you producing, and we've already done some of the marketing for you.
Good. All right. Next question. What are the other popular Trotec materials? Yeah, when it comes to Trotec, we make materials as well. I mean, most of the sheet stock type material. I mean, we don't do like all the leatherettes and all the finished like tumblers and stuff. That's where JDS comes in. Trotec's probably my favorite personal line is our it's a veneered MDF. So it looks like bamboo, but the core is veneer. So it's got veneer on both sides, or cherry or maple. This stuff is ideal because it's great for the flexibility. It's great for hinges. It's great for engraving, for cutting. It's extremely strong. It's also less expensive than buying solid wood, and it don't have a lot of the problems of something like solid wood. That's why I really like it, because of that MDF core. You don't get the cracking and drying out such as normal wood. As I mentioned earlier, our glitter material is also very popular at this time of year, because if you want to make like ornaments for the Christmas tree, which is popular, and you want that glittery, shiny acrylic, it's preset, ready to go. You can buy the sheets of the material, comes with all the different colors. We also sell our entire Trolets line of plastics. We sell them. Of course, you can also get them through JDS. And then finally, materials like our solid core woods and stuff like that. But in addition to that, we're seeing a lot of different materials that are popular with the Trotec machine. Mostly it's product lines, especially this year. There's a lot of gift items and stuff like that, which we've been discussing already. Do you have any high value beginner product suggestions for new laser users? I would say that'd be a great one for you, Josh. Anything that comes to mind in your brain?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind when I hear beginner or someone trying something new, take that part number, punch that into our website, and we have the process on how to laser that product. So you can pair that with, we've already talked about polar camo, we've already talked about anything bamboo or wood related. The leatherette is very popular, or just cutting something out of custom sheet stuff. We have Trotec settings. We use Trotec lasers here at JDS in our lab, and so our fabrication department has put together all the different settings and things that just make it easier, and there's less waste in kind of that trial and error time period.
Well, that's outstanding. Yeah, if you guys got the Trotec settings too, it's nice. It's going to save them from that wasted or destroyed first product trying to dial in settings that may or may not be known. So that is something good to know, and something I didn't even know. So yeah, definitely take a look at their site, because I get the call all the time. Hey, I've got this product, what is the starting settings? And I can give them a guideline, but as for the exact response, every laser's a little bit different, and the product depending on where they get it, I can only get them maybe 85% of the way there. Hopefully it's going to work, but sometimes they do ruin that first product or require it for testing, and no one likes to do that because it costs money.
Right, and if it's a JDS product, we offer the same service, Dave. You can certainly call us. We'll get you down to the people that are using the machines and testing our products, and we'd be happy to have those conversations with you as well.
Outstanding. Okay, next question. Is there some sort of trade-in option for lasers? For example, at our shop, we have owned a Speedy 400 for 4 to 5 years, and we want to upgrade. Can we get a credit towards a new one? Absolutely. Well, the nice thing about Trotec laser systems is they hold their value extremely well, and and it's easy to know that just by going into the used market. I do suggest most people try to sell it on, like Facebook Marketplace, try to sell it personally, because you can typically, especially at this time of year, you'll get it sold very, very quickly. As for your question, yes, of course, we're going to help you in that case. My suggestion is to get in contact with your local sales rep and to have that discussion with him, and he can let you know what we can offer based on the value of your current machine, condition of it. He may also have a ready-to-go buyer. A lot of our guys will have a list of people waiting for a used unit to maybe get started because they can't afford that new unit, and they want something that maybe cost a little less for them to get started. And this way it's going to give you a higher return on that. So my suggestion is, of course, reach out to us. We can get you in contact with your local salesperson, or if you have that local salesperson's number, or if you check it out on our website, and have that conversation with them, and they can definitely offer what kind of trade-in package we can do based on the scenario and the equipment. What materials would you best for would be best for cutting outdoor holiday decorative signs and can withstand winter weather. When it comes to outdoor type stuff, the product needs to be UV stable. That's the big thing with lasers. It's got to be able to handle the moisture. It's got to be able to handle the sun. If it's going to be temporary, really anything does work because it'll last a month or two. But if it's going to be used year after year and you want that high perceived, long-lasting value, then you want to stick with UV stable material. Acrylic is UV stable, so anything acrylic is going to be able to handle outdoor type materials. Stay away from some of your other plastics. A lot of even your laserable plastics, your Trolase plastics, your other brands of plastics. You got to be careful that you buy the brands or the type in that brand that is UV stable. Typically, both are sold. You have an indoor version, which is slightly less expensive, and then you have an outdoor version. And you may wonder, it's the same color combination. What's the difference in price? The difference in price is that it's UV stable. So make sure that you buy the material specifically designed for outdoor. If you're not sure, contact me, contact one of our salespeople, contact one of our applications. If you're working through something like a JDS product, I'm sure they'll offer that same thing. Their catalog also usually indicates if it is UV stable. If it's something like wood, you want to make sure to protect that wood with a polyurethane coating afterwards to protect it from that sun. But that's pretty much the case to withstand that weather, withstand the UV. What type of foam is laser safe? Thank you, Rick. Well, Rick, foam is, any type of PVC-based foam is pretty much not laser safe. Just like any plastics, polyvinyl chloride, when laser cut, will produce a debris that comes off of it, and that smoke and debris actually condenses to produce hydrochloric acid. So stay away from any PVC-based foams. Fortunately, most foams out there aren't made from PVC. Most of them are polyethylene, polyurethane. I personally like the polyurethane foam. Polyurethane foams, it's like the gray foam that you saw the little BB gun that I showed earlier. Polyurethane foams are an open cell. There's two main kinds of foam out there. There's closed cell foam and open cell foam. Closed cell foam, think styrofoam. When you laser cut it, you get a lot of shrinkage. The angles are really, really tight. It melts back very quickly because a closed cell foam is like little balloons, and when you laser cut it, they all deflate. Open cell foam, like polyurethane foam, is like popcorn kernels. They're fragments of foams, and so when you cut through it, you get a much straighter cut. You don't get the shrink back from the heat of the laser, and it is ideal for that. You will get a little bit of yellowing on the edge of foams, and so this is why I suggest staying with the darker colors, like the darker grays. If you're doing a white or like a light yellow or something like that, you're going to get a yellow edge. It's just an unavoidable side effect. That don't mean polyethylene foams and stuff won't work, but you will get a little bit more melt back on the edge. Just stay away from PVC-based foams. And I'm sure JDS, that's pretty much the only foams you guys sell. Do you guys sell any just foams for like hand cutting that is not considered laser safe?
No, we don't. The only foams I'm aware of go in those gift boxes, and they're laserable.
Okay.
Safely.
Yeah, most of the case you're going to find that it's not laser safe. It just doesn't work as well. What accessories from Trotec would be the best to purchase for the holiday season? Well, this really depends on what you want to do. I mean, if you really want to take on something that's highly profitable, like the JDS tumblers, the Polar Campbells, then you're going to need a rotary. That's obvious. If you decide you really want to, maybe if you've invested in a printer or if you have somebody locally that can do printing for you, maybe you want to add a camera registration in order to be able to do that print and cut. And these type of accessories are going to allow you to stand out and add new products to your product line. The benefit of most accessories with Trotec is that they can be added later. So if you want to add a rotary to your laser system, and you decide you want to add that, that is a great one. The two most popular, of course, is our rotary, followed by the camera registration. You can, of course, add different cutting tables and stuff like that, but it really depends on what you're cutting. Another one that's very popular is updating your laser system to a flex. So you may have a CO2 right now, and maybe you want to add a fiber laser to it as well. If it's our Speedy line of series, you can upgrade it and then have the ability to start marking on metal products and engraving into metal. This is a huge benefit because 15 to 20% of materials that you can't do, now you will be able to do. So it really does add that advantage. But I do suggest making sure you have the business to do that because it can be kind of costly because fiber lasers are can be kind of expensive. But if you do have the business, it does give you a great return on investment if you have that business. But other than that, additional lenses can be handy. If you're planning on doing, say, a skateboard deck and you need to be able to engrave across that variation of focal point, maybe you need to add a 4-inch lens to do that. So depending on what you do, if you're not sure, contact us. We'll always help you out and kind of guide you toward the correct accessory to maybe help you expand to the product that you want to move forward towards. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me, Josh. Your information was valuable and helpful to our customer base. And thank you, everyone, for joining me, and have a great holiday season.
Thanks, everybody.